Welcome, everybody. Glad you can make it to another episode of Band Together Leadership Seminars. My name is Paul Everts. I'm the CEO and founder of Band Together. You can reach me at my email, and I wish you would. It's at BAND, the number 2, together, band together at Comcast.net. Also, check out our website, conductingmylife.com, where you can get my book, Conducting My Life. Order it from me. I have plenty. They're in my garage. And anyway, go to curriculum. You'll see the John Maxwell curriculum that I teach. I've been certified to teach, speak, train, talk about, coach about. And I'd love to, one-on-one, come to a nonprofit group that you're part of, your family. Yes, we have family material that we could use to get you guys enjoying your time, reconnecting with the world now that it's open again. I love John Maxwell. If you know who John Maxwell is, please go Google John Maxwell. You'll see he's just a superman. A great author, many books about leadership and just being a good person overall. Again, go to the curriculum tab and allow me the privilege and the honor to come out and serve you. It is June 29th, Tuesday. I'm doing this probably about 9:45 in the morning in my man cave with my cool stuff. My man cave, which is located northeast of Sacramento, about 20 minutes northeast of Sacramento. Sometimes I want to tell you why I'm doing this. I was told I'm a teacher, high school teacher. Been teaching since the 3rd of July, 1989. 29 years public school, 3 years private school. Love to tell stories, love to have life be part of the experience. And I was told that there was too much life experience and not enough music. Now, the older I get, I'm 55 years old, I must say to you, I think that's manipulation. I think that some of the parents just didn't want to have someone tell their kids, let them be adults. I had one parent years ago get upset because I would call the students young adults. No, they're children. And you know what? She might be right, because we definitely are, you'll hear today in my presentation that the last 30 to 60 years, we have really extended their childhood by compulsory schooling. I'm reading a book right now that I would not be able to share with my students in the classroom, so I hope that my students are listening. I know I have a handful of you that are taking in the podcast or the YouTube or even my blog, and I'm really grateful. Because I think too, and hopefully your parents are watching too, this is who I am. This is actual, real Paul Everts. I make these videos actually with the thinking that I want my son, daughter-in-law to look at them, see if that helps them be a better family. I make the videos so that my grandson, our grandson, Jason, will see what his grandfather looked like, what he sounded like, how he thought. And I'm happy to say a week ago, Father's Day weekend, we're going to have a son-in-law. And so Devin, and then hopefully Devin and Katie will be able to look at these videos and go, wow, Dad had something to offer to the world. And it's not so much me. I like bringing what other people have, and then I add to it. So I'm the icing on the cake. And the cake today is Dumbing Us Down by John Taylor Gatto. Google John Taylor Gatto. He's an award-winning teacher. We talked about him a little bit last week. Maybe talk about him more next week. But definitely today, seeing the behavior of people. Recently, whatever her name is, 3rd place hammer throw person you are, who decided to take all the limelight away from the 1st place person who I guess might have had records that day. Your behavior reminds me that we've extended childhood. And it doesn't matter what color you are, it doesn't matter what gender you are, I don't give a rat's butt. I'm looking at the behavior. I don't understand. But I think when I read this to you, maybe we have an understanding of what's going on. So as you, my students, know, I like to start with defining words. If we're going to discuss a topic, a good starting point is a definition of keywords and principles. So what is the purpose of the government in a republic? Remember, the United States is a republic. Republic, form of government in which a state is ruled by representatives of the citizen body. Modern republics are founded on the idea that sovereignty rests with the people. Sovereignty rests with the people as individuals, who is included and excluded from the category of people has varied across history. The United States used to have the sovereignty of the individual. I'm saying used to. I hope it continues, but right now we're fighting to get that to stay with us. Seems like there are people that want others to tell them what to do, and I think you're going to hear that today. What is the purpose of the family? The primary function of the family is to ensure the continuation of society, both biologically through procreation and socially through socialization. Given these functions, the nature of one's role in the family changes over time. Now, NBC Today show a couple days ago had an interesting story about, frankly, that our birth rate in the United States of America has dropped significantly. And I think they said maybe next couple of years, even next year, maybe $100,000 to $500,000 dollars. That's what it costs to have a kid. Anyway, 100 to 500,000 fewer births. Yeah, and I think that's, again, I'm going to read to you, and this has to go with where we've been at the last 30 years. So from March 13th, 2020 to, let's say, June 15th, 2021, at least in the state of California, which is where I live, we were told to when, where, how to wear a mask. We were told Zoom is going to be your method of schooling. We were told a lot of things, given a lot of mandates to follow. Well, during the shutdown, and remember, it was to flatten the curve for 2 weeks, no one, and I am sincerely thankful for it, no one, told us what we were going to learn or to experience. I'm going to share with you one of the things I learned. Our nation's family has been weakened, and unfortunately, maybe purposely. Just as an aside, while seeing the disaster of Zoom education, that's in quotes, Zoom education, being on shutdown, flattened the curve for 2 weeks, humans have not evolved all that much. People are as mean and evil as ever. Being put on what I like to call as timeout from God. I would have hoped we would have been more kind to one another, loving one another. Now, knowing there is another way to die, COVID-19, we would have thought, you know what? I just want to be nice to somebody because I could die literally tomorrow. COVID-19 isn't just another way to die. And that's the one thing we do all have in common. We're going to die. I just finished reading a fantastic book, Dumbing Us Down by John Taylor Gatto. I strongly suggest my students and their parents and my colleagues and all people interested in education read this book. Know who John Taylor Gatto was, because he's passed away, but really he's living through these books. You need to see what a man was saying about schools, public schools, 30 years ago. 30 years ago. One more time, 30 years ago. And how much of what he says has come to fruition. In Gatto's book, he has a term which gives me the chills, and the term is synthetic families. Written in 1992, this is what John Taylor Gatto says. He says, schools, I hear it argued, would make better sense and be better value as 9-to-5 operations or even 9-to-9 operations, working, of course, year-round. We're not a farming community anymore, I hear. That we need to give kids time off to tend to crops. This new world order schooling would serve dinner. And here's my knowledge about what he just said. There are schools in California that provide breakfast, lunch, and then on the weekends, they actually provide families with food. There might be schools in California that now do 3 meals a day. He said this in 1992. He said, provide evening recreation. That's true. There are schools that are providing evening recreation. They're staying open so the latchkey kids can come, when mom and dad are working, can come pick them up. Offer therapy. That's happening. There are schools in California that now have what we call wellness centers. Our district, all the high schools have wellness centers. This is something that's happened in the last 4 to 6 years. Wellness centers are there to help students deal with their emotional struggles and other things too. And from what I know, there are situations that parents are not included in. And again, this was written in 1992. How about medical attention? The New World Order schooling would provide medical attention. There are some situations where students are treated without parents' permission. A care provider may perform a routine test or treatment on a minor who is over the age of 14 without parental consent and without accompaniment. on condition that the minor, him or herself, gives informed consent for the medical procedure, and a whole range of other services, which would convert the institution into a true synthetic family for children. Better than the original one for many poor kids, it is said. And this would level the playing field for the sons and daughters of weak families. Yet it appears to me, John Taylor Gatto, as a school teacher, that schools are already a major cause of weak families and weak communities. They separate parents and children from vital interaction with each other and from true curiosity about one another's lives. Schools stifle family originality by appropriating the critical time needed for some idea of family to develop. Then they blame the family for its failure to be a family. It's like a malicious person lifting a photograph from the developing chemicals too early and then pronouncing the photographer incompetent. Now, you know this is old when we're talking about that. Again, that 1992, pages 64 and 65 are dumbing us down. So I'm going to give you one more section to think about. Again, written 1992. Individuality, family, and community, on the other hand, are, by definition, expressions of singular organization, never of, quote, one right way, unquote, thinking on a grand scale. Private time is absolutely essential if a private identity is going to develop. And private time is equally essential to the development of a code of private values, without which we are not really individuals at all. Children and families need some relief from government surveillance and intimidation if original expressions belonging to them are to develop. Without these, freedom has no meaning. That's pages 66 and 67. So when I read this book, I instantly felt guilt. A sense of, I was part of this system since 1989. Then I took a breath and said, well, wait a second, Paul. You were the teacher that read stories from Chicken Soup of the Soul for teenagers. You read those stories to your high school students and you said, so how is this going to work with band? How is this going to work with your life? What's it going to do to make you a better person, a better musician? I was told to stop that. You are the teacher that said, quote, every rehearsal outside of the school day must be worth the time missed from your family. And I got that from COVID. The response to COVID. It took me like 30 years to get that. I told the students, nothing is more important than the time with your family, including our rehearsals. No more Saturday rehearsals. Many schools will rehearse on Saturdays all day. I did many years, and I have no regrets for doing that. Until now. Until then I go, man, you know what? I just took 8 hours from your family. Not one Saturday, not 2 Saturdays, not 3 Saturdays, not 4 Saturdays, 10 Saturdays. I'm that important to take 10 Saturdays away? I'm not getting it. I'm going to do 5 because we have 5 competitions and they happen to be on Saturdays. But I would suggest to all my colleagues that are having Saturday rehearsals and after school rehearsals, we're going to have rehearsals on Monday from 6 to 8, not 6 to 9, 6 to 8. That you really consider that if you're going to ask your students to be away from their families, to be away from connecting with their families, I hope that you make their time worthy of such a sacrifice. Okay? And I'm not higher than now. I did it. And then I thought to myself, after I read this, no. Okay? And I actually said what I told you I said before. And then I read this and it was like God said, affirmation, good for you, young man, finally. So when you arrive at a rehearsal and at the end of rehearsal, you need to say you did all you could to make the time worth the sacrifice of missing time with your parents and your brothers and sisters. So when I made the announcement that we're not going to have Saturday rehearsals, ooh, man, people got mad. Some people didn't give a damn. And some students were like, heck yeah, man, more time for my video game. More time for my video game. I cannot wait. I want to do my video. I cannot wait. Thank you so much, Richard. I can't wait. Oh, you're so nice of you, Mr. I don't care what the students do with their time. Would I like them to spend time with their families out of their bedrooms? Of course. But in the end, they need to learn how to use private time. Prior to reading Dumbing Us Down, I saw how much time was being taken away from the families. I am a father. I am a grandfather. I know how quickly time changes both roles. For God's sake, in 15 years, I will be 70 years old. Some of my students just went, whoa, E is getting old, man. P.J. Everts and Katie Everts in a healthy family should be out of the house within 20 to 25 years. And they both were, thank God. Katie, again, Father's Day weekend, got engaged to Devin. So until then, she did go to college. And like many college students in the United States of America, she came back home. And I've enjoyed having her home. Now she's getting ready to leave. That is what we do in the United States of America. And if not, it's because we have a business and we're all here working on the farm, or we're all here making the clothes, or all here making the food. There's a reason why the family's together, and it's to be active. Okay. So I just finished my 32nd year teaching. I've been a teacher longer than I was a hands-on father. Point being, there is a greater chance your career will be longer than your chance to be hands-on parenting. Your time as a hands-on parent is super brief. I mean, let's say you live 80 years and you have a couple of children. Theoretically, 20 to 26 years. Of course, you have multiple children, it can change, but out of your 80 years, it's going to be a minority. It's not going to be 50 years you being a parent, unless you want to be. Being a grandfather, what a drag it would be to miss all sorts of grandfather moments due to the fact that I was too busy with work. Hello? What Gatto was writing 30 years ago, we have seen and lived and living the results. How did that Zoom classroom go for you all? For a few, it was great. I mean, we had kids that just kicked butt on Zoom. But for a large majority, it was terrible. It was even destructive. Why? Because those who were taught 30 years ago were constantly in the environment described by Gatto. They were taught school was going to fill their time, their needs, and their heads. Boy, weren't the parents' eyes and ears open following this experience? This experience, of course, being Zoom. You bet. And of course, better later than never. Private time? What the hell's private time? Our current students have no idea what to do with their private time. When I would give them private time, they wasted it. They admitted wasting their private time. Why did they waste it? Answer: my students did not learn how to use the private time. Private time is foreign to them, as private time was foreign to their parents when they were children, when they were in school. Our schools have become the unintended consequence. Synthetic families. So what do you suggest we do, Mr. Ertz? I say take your families back. Take back your families. Allow the negatives of Zoom and the response to COVID-19 be your inspiration to take back your family. Volunteer for your children's school. By the way, if you're part of my current life, we're looking for bamboozers. You contact the teacher with a loving and compassionate heart before the F is sent home. Look at your child's grades more than just during grading time. When your child says how mean and awful the teacher is, remember your child is a child. There are two sides of truth. Give the benefit of the doubt to the teacher. When there is a parent-teacher conference, literally sit on the same side of the table with the teacher. Show the teacher you, the parent, and the teacher are on the same side of supporting your child. Believe it or not, that's not going to happen usually, because there have been parents that have really hurt, abused, physically, verbally, teachers. So then we have them sit across each other as a sense of safety. Plan time for family activities. As bourgeois as that sounds, 1950s as that sounds, you only get so much time to be a family. Study how to be a better parent. Read, 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 and ask other parents, man, how do you do it? How do you make it through the day? Do all you can to be independent from the government budget so your child does not need one flippin' meal from the school. Again, I wrote do all you can, okay? Don't get upset at me. If you get food from schools, get food from school. I'm saying do all you can. Hey, know your rights as a parent. And when you feel your rights as a parent are being taken away, I think you should fight. Be fully involved with the physical, mental well-being of your child. Know that legally in several states you don't have to know or be informed. Unbelievable. Your child can get help and you're not informed. Didn't we just say that earlier? Remember, according to Gatto, this is what he says. He says, the heart of a defense for the cherished American ideals of privacy, variety, and individuality lies in the way we bring up our young. Children learn what they live. Children learn what they live. How are you, the parent, living? Is the way you, the parent, are living the way you want your children to live, to learn, to love? How are you, the child, the student, the scholar, living? Are you fully invested in your time? Stop wasting your time. Be it time at school, time with your family, for others, and yes, private time. Stop wasting your time. We are at another crucial time in our nation's history. Thanks to John Taylor Gatto and me for reading his outstanding book. You have been given some thoughts that were shared some 30 years ago. Those were now historical thoughts. And now see how those historical thoughts have impacted our beautiful nation today. Children learn what they live. Children learn what they live. All right, I need to buzz on off because, again, I need to keep these relatively brief. I hope something I said today helped you. Begin with the end in mind. Every choice you make is who you are, so choose wisely, including how to use your time. Seek first to understand, then be understood. Understand the teacher before you jump on the teacher's case. All right? Listen to learn. Get involved. Seek first to understand, then be understood. And then finally, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. I care about you dearly. I would say 90% of the teachers care about your children dearly. Let's get the family back as the priority. If you're going to have children, then have a family. I am doing the best I can. I am doing the best I can. And I am doing the best I can. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Please share. Help this thing grow. I mean, if we got 64,000 people talking about rights, let's get like 100 people talking about take back your family. All right, everybody. I love you. Thanks a lot. Bye.